1 year ago, Joe Biden strode into his first Group of Seven summit as president. What did he tell U.S. allies? America is back. A year later, his words ring true. America is back, but back in the 1950s. Friday was a dark day for U.S. democracy. The Supreme Court of the country overturned the landmark 1973 Roe versus Wade ruling, depriving nearly 40 million women of their reproductive rights. Abortion is already illegal in 7 American states. It could soon be banned in 15 more, ending 50 years of precedent. The verdict shines the light on the court's role in American life. The Supreme Court has the final word on fundamental issues, including rights. Currently, the Supreme Court has 9 justices. Each of them has a lifetime appointment. There are 6 conservatives: Chief Justice John Roberts, Justice Samuel Alito, Justice Clarence Thomas, Justice Neil Gorsuch, Justice Brett Kavanaugh, and Justice Amy Coney Barrett. 3 liberals: Justice Stephen Breyer, Justice Sonia Sotomayor, Justice Elena Kagan. The decision was taken by a Supreme Court that was remade by Donald Trump. 3 of the conservative justices were appointed by him. From recent verdicts on guns to religion, the Supreme Court has veered sharply towards the right. And last week was the biggest example of this. On Tuesday, the court said public funds can be used to support families sending children to religious schools, a case that challenges long-standing principles of separation of church and state. On Thursday, the court said Americans have a fundamental right to carry a handgun in public. Remember, this was just after 2 horrific mass shootings. And on Friday, the court overturned Roe versus Wade, the landmark 1973 ruling enshrining a woman's right to an abortion. 3 cases, 3 verdicts, and a crisis of legitimacy. The written opinion by one justice raised further concerns. This is Clarence Thomas. He's known as one of the most conservative judges on the bench. And this is what he wrote while supporting the decision to overturn Roe versus Wade. In future cases, we should reconsider all of this court's substantive due process precedents, including Griswold, Lawrence, and Obergefell. So what are these cases that he is talking about? The first one, a 1965 ruling which enshrined the right of married couples to use contraception. The next one is Lawrence versus Texas in 2003. This ruling struck down laws penalizing same-sex relationships. The third is the landmark Obergefell versus Hodges. This is the 2015 ruling protecting marriage for all. It was the one that legalized same-sex marriages in the United States. Now, many fear that this ruling could set a precedent, allowing for a rollback of legal protections for gay relationships, including the right for same-sex couples to marry. And given the court's conservative majority, the idea is not a far-fetched one. As the Supreme Court rolls back Roe versus Wade, many believe that same-sex marriage may be next on the chopping block.
We're here. We're queer. We won't disappear. We're here. We're queer. That's it.
And joining us on the broadcast is our correspondent Susan Teherani from New York. Susan, the mounting fear is that the conservative majority of the court and the rulings that we have seen last week could set precedent for what lies ahead. For example, when it comes to legal protections for same-sex relationships as well. Describe to us the mood on the ground ever since Roe versus Wade was overturned.
Yeah, obviously, emotions are running very high after this ruling. This is, again, something that people have extremely strong opinions about on both sides. But the protests and demonstrations that we saw during the weekend were mostly pro-choice individuals. And then, you know, it's the end of Pride Month. So at least here in New York, despite the fact that, you know, it is considered a safe haven for abortion, we saw that, you know, individuals, the LGBTQ community and others were concerned and were out in the street protesting, you know, on the one hand celebrating, but then also concerned that perhaps their rights would be next and trampled upon. Despite the fact that, you know, the court's majority opinion, Samuel Alito did say that the decision applied only to abortion, and that a quote-unquote taking of human life is unlike any other issue, and it does not apply to other issues. But critics are not buying that because Clarence Thomas made that comment regarding, you know, gay rights and contraception. So that's where we stand right now. And again, you know, his colleagues at the Supreme Court don't, you know, agree with him. But again, critics believe that because he made that recommendation, it's a nod to justices and judges in states to sort of maybe curb those rights on a state level. And then if they don't reach an agreement, they can take it to the Supreme Court later on.
WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.